Hey, hey, we're alive. As the day comes to fall asleep, my soul longs for you. If you are here, let me see you. This heart beats for you. Hello, welcome. You're here. Yay! Who else is here? Let me see you. If you have joined me, let me see you. Please identify yourself. How was your day? How did your week go last week? Of course. Okay. Today we're going to have a very serious and important conversation. So if you're here, please let everyone know that we're alive. We had to start a little bit later than planned because of logistics. You know how your gen starts to malfunction. Okay, so you're welcome to today's edition of the Love Code. I'm so excited about today's edition because it's going to lead into the conversation that we're supposed to have on the 27th of this month. So how has it been? How inspired have how has it been generally for you? For me, it has been an eye opener. For me, it has been a time where I've actually had to sit down and ask myself a few questions because none of my children are teenagers, for example, but I know that, and that's part of what we're going to talk about today. So let's just wait on a few more people to join us. How are you? Um, I'm just trying to get a few more people to join us. Just hang in there. Few more people to join us. Just hang in there. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Done. Done and done and done. Um. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So we're going to have a serious conversation today because um yes, you're here. Good evening. Good evening. It is so good to see you. It's nice that you're here. I'm happy you joined us. Please get word out. Let everyone know that we have started. Today's session is going to be quite, um, it's going to be short and straight to the point. Not like the others haven't been straight to the point, but this particular age group, I feel like teaching teenagers to love begins from your relationship with them. Your relationship with them from 0 to 5, 6 to 12, before when they get to teenage, to the teen age, right? Because I don't have teenage kids yet, but I was once a teenager. I have had teenage younger ones go through my my home, and I've also had the opportunity to mentor and teach teenagers. And I know that one thing stands out. You, at that stage, they have already formed an opinion about some of the things that you're going to teach them anyway. So what you're doing might just be God having to breathe into what you're doing so that there will be a change. You get this. What I'm saying is this: if your relationship, if your relationship isn't right with them, there they automatically grow up to build a wall around themselves, around their hearts, to either shield you from or protect you from seeing the things that they are trying to keep away from you. Because some mothers, the language they use, freak out them, and choose to attack this conversation through shouting, scolding, shamifying, and talking down at them. Remember that at this stage, they are what you actually call young adults, because view life, their senses and they've been fully conditioned. They've started, they have an opinion of what I mean. They may not be right, they may still be fuzzy about it. There may be there, in fact, there will be need to gain clarity on certain areas, right? But at this stage, what your success in teaching them about love is very much nestled on how successful your 0 to 5 years relationship, and especially your 6 to 12 years relationship, has been. So I grew up from a very Christianly background. Where I grew up, the kind of conversation that we received at the onset of our menstruation is that when a man touches you, you just get pregnant. Short, straight, simple. And that you were supposed to not allow anyone touch you. And there was no conversation around it. There was nothing, no ideologies. And remember that I'm teaching perception of love in two different ways. But because we're talking about teenagers, we're attacking it from the angle of relationship, because now it's time. Now what they learn by observation, they learn by weighing in their minds, and most of the times they are prone to peer pressure, they are prone to accepting the norm, because at this stage they are looking for acceptance, they are looking for expression, they are seeking expression, and they just want to be a certain type of way. So when you're to teach, if you don't have teenagers yet, fantastic. This is the time for you to build your relationship conscientiously with your child, especially your 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old daughter or son. This is the time to start having those difficult conversations, and not tell them, not try to cook up stories. It's better you tell them, I will not be able to discuss this with you right now, than to shield them, because they will still know what it is, right? So I said here that we should explore what they understand by love. What do they mean? What do they understand by love? Love, to many teenagers, is a feeling that you have felt before, that a feeling that you feel for someone that you have never felt before. Trust me, it might not be said like that, but that is this that is what it eventually leads to, or that's how most of them begin to think, depending on the kind of background that they have grown from. Now, let me share a story with you. Like I said, I grew from a very religious background, very Christian background, not religious actually, because I know that my parents stressed relationship with God from a very tender age. we started knowing things about quiet time, going out for evangelism and doing all of that. So I came from a very Christian background. And part of the downside, really, of that background is not being able to actually talk about how you feel, or how, for example, discuss things like attraction or my own perception about love, or what should I do if I notice that I'm beginning to like someone. Because I started liking someone at 16. I had finished my secondary school, and this young guy, this young man was our, we're in the same youth fellowship. Nice looking young man. I was a babe. I'm still a babe. I know I was a very beautiful girl, and so it was easy for us to flow. He was very active in the youth ministry. I was also very active in the youth ministry, and I'll catch myself wanting to arrange my hair in certain type of way, and in my mind I was in love, right? Now, but I also knew that for me, that was not what I didn't want to get into exploring the aspect of body contact and touch and all that. It was just that fuzzy, warm feeling of having someone, look at you a certain type of way, walk you home. Not like we're doing anything bad though, but that feeling that someone actually cares about you. Someone that I didn't have a mobile phone then. I mean, that wasn't was there. No, there wasn't any mobile phone at that time. You see, so it was really so. Now that is one aspect of love. That's when you need to have a conversation around the different types of love. I suggest that this is when you start having matured conversation. There are different kinds of love. I was taught this in Sunday school in teens class, that there is agape love, which is God's type of love, unconditional, and it has it made an impact in my life. I was taught the agape love. I was taught the brotherly love. I was taught the eros, the love that makes you feel a certain type of way, the feeling that you've never felt before, and all that, and all that. Yeah. So this is the time to have those kind of conversations around what love truly is, the different kind of love, and getting them ready. Don't discourage them, because it is a natural, it is how they have been wired. That's how human beings have been wired, to be attracted to the opposite sex. Now this is the time to channel that energy and to channel the attraction, you know to talk about conversations around purpose and purposeful relationships, conversations around beginning with the end in mind. So if I'm starting out this relationship with Emmanuel, for example, what is the end goal of this relationship? Is it just so that I can answer that I have a boyfriend? If that is it, then it doesn't really make sense. And you will need to be able to reason with them. This is not the time to talk down at your teenager, because they're going to shut you out. And when your teenager shuts you out, they shut you out for real. Not like they won't listen to you. Anything you have to say, they will listen, but they won't share anything with you. And God forbid, if something really hard happens to them, that's the end. You have lost your teenagers. And that's not what we want. We want to have them, we want to hold them, want to model love to them. So what do you do? First, ensure that you consciously and conscientiously build a relationship with them that is truthful and that is not. Now, I once heard a coach say that you're from 0 to 15, you are a parent, okay, not a friend, not their buddy, you are their parent. The reason why it is so is because when they grow older, there are some things that you would have naturally expected that they would have been able to come into and able to make decisions, those kind of decisions themselves. Isn't that why the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 22 verse 26, 22 verse 6, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old he will not depart from it. So you train them, because you know that 16, I entered into the university at 17, and you really couldn't follow me around at that stage. You cannot yes, if they believe they cannot get the truth from you, they will go elsewhere to find it. Precisely, I agree with you. And that is why if you still have younger children, men, treasure it. Treasure that relationship. Use it to cultivate and firmly ground them on love, on what love is, God kind of way. That's one. Secondly, build a sort of relationship that they can trust. They will need to trust you. They will need to trust that they can speak to you. They will need to trust that they can talk to you. They can open up to you. They will need to trust that not that you're going to, but you're not going to be weird, or you're not going to have hyperventilations when they are talking to you. They're just going to be factual and discuss with them without belittling them. Yes, we were all teenagers, and for the most part, there were lots of things that my I could sorry about that. That was not because I didn't love her, or she didn't love me, or I doubted her love. No, I didn't tell her because we were not in that relationship. We hadn't come to a place where she could handle some of these emotions, or I could trust her to handle the way I felt. So I just couldn't tell her. And that is the situation with a lot of young people. So ground a relationship with your child before they step into teenagehood. And have they stepped into teenagehood? Not a problem. It is better to start cultivating that relationship than never. At initially, they may they may want to be wary of whatever you have to tell them, because they're wondering why you're suddenly acting so nice, why you're suddenly acting so strange, especially if you haven't been there, if you haven't really been there. Don't forget that they've existed for 13, 14, 15 years. So it might be difficult for you to maintain that relationship. But at this point, I believe that there is nothing prayer cannot do. And then you can also go easy, speak to them, ensure that you have a relationship. For me, I believe that teaching children, teaching your teenagers to love is heavily backed by relationship. And then by who you are on the outside, when no one is watching, who you are, how you treat your spouse, for example, and how they see you treat other people, how you speak to other people. That is also conditioning them. So explain, whilst trying to build that relationship, explain God's reference point. It is important that your child understands that love is actually God's idea. Love is God is love. God doesn't love. God is actually love. It's just like saying this has water. I mean, this is water. This is water. When you take watermelon, you say, oh, watermelon has XYZ percentage of water, but it isn't water. But this is, and that's it. God is love. God is love. God is actually love. God doesn't, I mean, it's not, it is who he is, it's his personality. And he's the one that put those emotions in man, because he essentially wired us for relationship. Man is essentially wired for relationship. That's why you cannot truly thrive and live to the best, fullest potential working solo. That's why you need relationships. That's why you need men, different type of relationships in your life. You cannot successfully thrive working solo, even as a businessman, whatever you do. I mean, who are you creating your products for? Men. So God had wired that inclination towards relationship into us. It is natural. It is God given, and there is nothing to be ashamed about. What you should know, however, is that there is time for everything, and that you can love without necessarily, that you can love without um sinning against God, and that there is a difference between love and lust. That is something I learned way back in teens church, that love is not lust. Love is not lust. Okay? There are two different things. And so remember that our anchor as kingdom parents is the scriptures. What does the Bible say about love? What does the Bible say? What is God's opinion about love? Because He is the founder of it. It's just like asking me what my opinion about Mama Boy's Diary is. I'm the founder, I'm the one who knows the vision I have received. Same way it is, God is the founder of love. He's the one that understands and knows how it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to go. So, naturally, every conversation, not just about love, about everything in life, has to have its basis in the scriptures. And so you need to talk about loving from the biblical point of view. And that's where we would always defer back to First Corinthians chapter 13 and God's characteristics of what love is and what love is not. So the first thing that you should also let them know is that loving passionately means giving selflessly. How not your body, of course, but giving your time, giving your resources, being there, being a helping hand to your siblings, ensuring that you cover the bases, and your relationship with your parents, for example, your relationship with your classmates, being attacking things from the standpoint of helping, not because there is something you're getting in return. Because we need to stress that life is about value, and value is about what you give, or what you can give, or what you can offer. And one of the things you can offer is help, you know. So offering help, looking out for the other person, is love in itself. And Jesus tell the story about how John 3:16 is this most powerful, most clearest message about what this selfless love personified. The Bible says that God so loved the world. So the adjective, the qualifier, is that this is how much He loved. So how much have you loved? God so loved the world that He did what? He gave. There is a proof of God's love. And God's love, the proof of God's love is in the giving. He gave His only begotten Son. And the purpose of that giving was for you and I. So you haven't even been born when God took a decision that, look, I'm going to love you regardless of whatever you have done. I'm going to love you so much that I will give my son in exchange for your soul. So imagine putting paid on everything that is coming out of China, manufacturing, a certain manufacturing company, putting paid for as long as that company is in existence. And I just say to the owner of this manufacturer, as long as you're in existence, I have paid, be it known unto you, that even if you decide to increase your production by 100% every day, I have paid for everything. So all you just need to do is to go and accept the payment and produce the goods that I've paid for. That is how God's love is. he paid even before he saw you. So it's not because you are righteous, it's not because you're such a fantastic person, but because he gave you, he loved you even before you were born. This is very strong, and this is a very mind blowing way to look at what he has done for us. So, like we've always done, we're going to also explore the characteristics of love and how this is significant for our teenagers. So, we know that love can wait because love is patient. So if anybody is telling you that the proof of loving me is giving me your body, then that's not love, because you don't give a condition for love. First of all, love can wait. Secondly, love is unconditional. I don't have to prove anything. I don't have to give you myself or go do something that is not within my value system just to make you happy, because love can wait. That's why the Bible says love is patient. If it is love, it can wait, and it will respect your boundaries. Yes, love respects boundaries. In fact, it's only when someone doesn't love you, doesn't care about you, that they don't care about your boundaries. But if you love me, if you say you love me, then you can wait, because love is patient. Love does not seek to hurt. So if you are hurting my future, hurting my destiny, hurting or endangering my education, then you don't really love me. When I was in SS2, I had a friend. We were a group of three friends. Two of us were in SS2, the other one was in SS3. So we're three friends, and we used to meet after school every day to pray together and read our books. And then on Fridays, we used to fast and pray and also read before we go home. Because I used to read my books before I go home, because I knew that going home, I may not read immediately. And I needed to, because I was preparing also for my exams. So, yeah, that's the routine I was running at that time with my friends. So, my other friend in SS2 finished in SS3, finished her education, and then she went to stay. She stopped coming to school, of course, obviously. Because my parents didn't really allow us to go out or visit friends, I never really went to her. I never went to her house. Not like I never went to her house. She lived at the other end of town, so I didn't even go there. We're just meeting in school and being school Christian friends. And sometimes when we meet in church, we're also friends in church. But at that time, after her exam, she stopped coming, she stopped showing up. And then we finished SS2, got into SS3. Things became very busy for us. We finished, so for a whole year, we didn't have any communication. There was no relationship or conversation with her for a whole year. Now, whilst we were waiting for our WAEC result to come out, we had finished. My other friend, she said she's been having this needing to go and visit this lady. Her name was Christina. I've not heard from her since after then. So my friend said she had this leading to go and visit her. I asked if she knew the place. She said yes, that she had once described her place to her before the holidays, before she finished her exam. So she went to pay a visit to her. When she got, her parents are redeemed. She used to come to Winners, because we're Winners. We used to attend Canaan Land at that time. She used to come to Winners, but her parents go to Redeem. So she followed the description and got to her place. So she knocked. Her mother, let her in. She recognized that it was her mom, because the woman was actually. She recognized that this was her mom, because Christiana looked exactly like her mom. So she opened the door. Welcome. She curtsied, greeted her. Hey, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. I'm here to see Christiana. And the woman goes, and at first she was scared. She thought, oh my God, I hope nothing has happened to her. I hope she's fine. I hope she's not dead or anything. And then the mom said she should sit down. She brought water for her to drink. Said when they brought the water, self, her mind just sank because it was like this one they're giving her water. What are they going to tell her that she will need water to, swallow? So the next thing she said, who are you to my daughter? And she, oh, we are friends. We used to be very close. I have another one of us, but she's not here. That she was referring to me. We used to be very close before, but Christina finished before us when SS2, she was in SS3. And then after she finished up, she said, Christina is in her husband's house. How? Why? What's she doing in her husband's house? That she got pregnant and they sent her to sit with the man. Even though I do not agree with that method, but hey, it has happened, it has happened. And so I said, okay, since I'm here already, does she stay around? Can I see her? Yeah, she's not, she doesn't stay too far away from here. Actually, the guy she has been seeing is not, doesn't live far away. I mean, it's their neighbor. Okay. And so they start going to the place. At first, when they entered into, she thought she was mistaken because the man, the man who opened the door for them was dressed like an alhaji, as an alpha. So the guy apparently was the alpha's son. So she opened the door. She greeted the guy, oh, I'm here to see my daughter. And they called Christina. Christina had long changed her name from Christina to the new Islamic name because she had to. I mean, what happened was she got pregnant and then she was pushed to this man, and she was on baby number 2 when my friend went to see her. And I never forgot that story. This happened when I was 16. That's about 20 years ago. That's when it happened. And I never forgot that story. It actually brought tears to my eyes because when Victoria came, that's her name. When Victoria, so we're 3 friends, Marvi, Victoria, and Christy. So when she came to my house to tell me, her eyes were red. She had cried her eyes out already. I mean, so I was scared. I thought, oh, I hope Christina is fine. I hope she's not dead or anything. And then she told me I was wounded in my spirit because, I mean, we're doing this Christian race together. And what she said even broke my heart. Said it just happened. She just went to experiment. The guy had been disturbing her, and that day she just went to experiment with that, to how this, and she was a virgin at that time, how this thing is. And she just went to experiment, and the two of them were doing what they were doing, and she got pregnant, and she didn't even know that she was pregnant. It was her mom that noticed it, went to Ted, beat her. I mean, it was very dehumanizing. I'll never treat a child like that, no matter what mistakes that child has made. So that's why I'm saying that to teach a child this age how to love is going to thrive on relationship. Obviously, because I grew up in that generation where what they tell you when you start seeing your period is when a man touches you, you get pregnant, which is not the, which is not entirely true. I mean, if you touch me, how will I get pregnant? Does it make sense? It doesn't now, but then it was making sense because it saved them from the difficult conversation around sex and sex education. But you have to have that conversation. Okay? Love does not seek to hurt. How can you tout that you love somebody and you're seeking to love that person? You're beating up. I mean, I don't even want to go through that conversation around domestic violence and how it impacts on the child. And that's why I said that teaching love is also based solidly on relationship. Because a few years ago, I was coming back from work. I was tired and hungry. The last thing I wanted was to overhear the conversation that I overheard. So I was in the bus, and this lady was boasting to her friend about how much her boyfriend loves her, that he corrects her when she's wrong. And while I was trying to process that conversation around correcting me when I'm wrong, okay, it could be, okay, you are wrong. Don't you think you should do that? If that's the correction, fine. So the girl now said, oh, what do you mean by correcting me when you're wrong? He beats me, especially when my mouth is wrong. Really? I mean, this is a conditioning. This is a conditioning that parents actually get from their mothers or their fathers. So you need to, it is your responsibility to teach your child that love does not hurt you. You can't say you love me and then you're hurting me. You can't say you love me and you're raping me. That's not love. You're beating me, you're forcing me to have sex with you. That's not love. Or you're trying to make me love you by manipulation, by manipulating me. That's not love. So you need to understand what love is and what love is not. And trust me, they can handle this conversation. Love is happy when you win, not jealous when you win. And it is not gender specific. If it is her, love is happy, genuinely happy when she wins. Love is genuinely happy when he wins. It is not determinant on your gender. There is no gender that is good for um, mediocrity. Don't think that it is a virtue to be a mediocre. Don't You don't have to explain away your success. You have to teach your girl child that, and even your son, that he should never explain away his success or the things that he know. Encourage him, encourage her, and cheer her on. Because if you love me, then you'll be happy if I win or when I win. Okay? Love doesn't boast or brag about self just to put someone else down. Love does not want what it doesn't have. Covetousness. You cannot want what you don't have. You must be satisfied with what you have, and not content in the sense that you don't want to work hard to be the best version of yourself. Not mediocrity or not staying at the same point. No, but you are not trying to, excuse me, you're not trying to get something because you want to pepper them. That's the language of a lot of people, and that is a whole lot of, that's a problem in itself, because that means that you're doing something not because you want to do it, but because you want to generate a kind of reaction from your people. And if you don't get it, it's a problem, and you will continue, no matter what it costs you, you will continue to do it until you pepper them. That doesn't make sense. Those people don't care about you. Okay, so what is love not? Love is not, okay, so I said love doesn't boast or brag about self. Love prefers the other person. Bible says prefer the other person in love. Love prefers the other person. Love does not take advantage of people or people's naivety. Love doesn't take advantage of people's naivety. Instead, it will teach them, because Bible says that love rejoices in the truth. Love rejoices in the truth. Love points people back to God. Why? Because God is the author of love. So whatever relationship, whatever love, whatever you are experiencing, it has to be centered and rooted upon Christ. Okay? So what is love not? Love is not premarital sex. Love is not smooshing, touching, kissing. That's not love. Love is not romance. I used to have friends that were guys growing up, and maybe that's part of what toughened me up. And you will hear them say that they can actually sleep with a girl without knowing her name. So love is not premarital sex. Love is not turning a blind eye when someone is doing something that is clearly wrong. You cannot say, I love my friend. I don't want to expose her, or I don't want to confront her. I don't want to hurt her feelings. What does hurt her feelings mean exactly? If you know that what your friend is doing is wrong, you are actually not loving her. If you keep quiet and say nothing about it, that's not love. Love isn't based on feelings. Why? Because feelings are fleeting. Feelings are fleeting. Sometimes you wake up self, you yourself, you're not feeling yourself. Will you not throw yourself away? Okay? You wake up, you just look at your face in the mirror, your cheeks are puffed, and you're not feeling yourself. Your tummy is everywhere. Gosh. You're not feeling yourself. So will you throw yourself away? That's the question. No. So love is not based on feelings. Love is a decision. My pastor taught me as a teenager. I used to attend YDI. I was the first person to attend wedding in my home before my younger ones joined. And my pastor then, Pastor Joe, would say that you don't fall in love. There's nothing like that. You choose to dim your senses and decide to allow the sweet nothings that the man is talking about to get into you. You didn't fall in love. You chose to love that person. You chose it. And now, talking about why you chose it, it can be trying to measure up, it can be trying to be like everyone else, but you chose it. So, love is a choice, it's a decision. That is why. Um, that is why I find it extremely silly for anyone to say that someone made them do something or my wife pushed me. Those kind of conversations doesn't make sense to me because no one can make you do something that you ultimately don't want to do. No one. No one has that power over you because what my pastor would say is imagine you're going there, yeah, you're going there to do something that somebody's pushing you to, go and sleep, go and commit fornication with someone. Somebody's pushing you to go and do that. And then as you get there, she tells you, I'm HIV positive. What will happen to that feeling? It will disappear immediately. Information. So the information that you have to your disposal is what enables you to make the choices that you make. And you must own up to the fact that you need to let them know that they must own up to the fact that they made that decision and they will have to live with the consequences. Yeah. So this is the time where you teach them about choices, about decision making, of course, and the consequences, the pros and the cons. I even teach my younger children. So, mommy, I want to do this. If you do this, this is what will happen. This is what will not happen. Choose. What do you want? Oh, I want this. Fantastic. Why do you want this? Because I want this, this, this. They will need to, and I don't blame some children as well because they haven't been exposed to the key learning how to make decisions because they've always been told what to do. You should not always tell them what to do. You should let them arrive at that decision, guide them into making a decision because they will need that. It's actually a soft skill. Decision making is a soft skill, and there is actually a system, there is a way to make decisions. And inability to make decisions is actually a cause of low self-esteem because and then vulnerability because you are going to wait for other people to choose for you, or you're going to do something not based on a deep-seated value system, which is actually what decision making should be founded upon. It should be based on your values, and that's what you should start teaching. So it is that value about love, what love is, what you stand for, that helps to, make them, that helps them to take that decision. All right. So with this, we have come to the end of today's session. But before I go, please subscribe to this. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel so that you can, and then turn on your notification so that you will get notified anytime we come on live. All right. If you have any questions, please feel free to write me, Marvi. So let me just put it down. Feel free to write me, Marvi at mamaboysberry.org, and I'll be more than happy to reach out to you and have a conversation with you. Okay, so write me, let me know what you think about this topic. Next week we'll be rounding off this session. We may or may not have, we may or may not have a live session, but I will be creating I'll be creating a downloadable workbook that can help you to solidify the things that we have learned in week 1, week 2, week 3, and also give you, I mean, inch you closer to application, because knowledge acquired is not what brings transformation. It is knowledge applied. You can listen all you can and all you want, but if you don't apply anything that we say here, it would just be better that you didn't waste your data to watch. So please apply and teach other people what you have learned. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. And do have an amazing week.